There's some urban romance authors who don't just tell the story. They pull you in and keep you turning pages. My name is Raquel. This is where we come to celebrate and explore Black books. Let's get into it. So, the first book is The Weight of Us by Camille V. She is a new author. She has 3 books in her catalog. I have read 2. And her strong suit is pulling those emotions out of her characters, or maybe pulling them out of me. I don't know. Anyway, so The Weight of Us is about a ER nurse. Her name is Naya. Naya has a man, but they're on some kind of rocky terms. Naya and her younger brother lives together. They are very close. She is doing everything that she can to take care of her brother. There's a horrible accident that happens, and Naya needs support. Unfortunately, her man is nowhere to be found. In order to deal with her grief, she throws herself into her work hardcore. I mean, day and night, she's working, right? So there's this guy named Santonio. His homeboy gets shot. So now he's in the hospital every day, checking on his homeboy, and flirting real heavy with Naya. So Naya's trying to keep it professional, but he's wearing her down. His charm is wearing her down, and he's giving her support that the man is not giving. So he's kind of bringing her back to life. They start out as friends, and you could tell that this friendship is gonna turn into more than just friends. And just when you think you know where the relationship is going, the connection between these two gets really complicated. Now, what made this book so good for me is because as the reader, you can feel the weight of what's coming. You know, but Naya doesn't know. And all the while, they are falling in love. There's life, love, sorrow, and grief in this book. And I feel like Camille V really brought those emotions out in this book. And she did the same thing in her first book for me. And that book was called Color Me Broken. And it is a really awesome book. I'm beginning to see that this is something that she's really, really good at. And next we have K.C. Mills, Me for You. Now, I studied deaf culture and ASL in college, and that is one of the things that really attracted me to this book. So the book is about this guy named Rylan. He is a NFL pro, and he finds out that he has a 6-year-old deaf sister. Now, when he was a teen or a preteen, his mother abandoned him, and now she has abandoned his 6-year-old deaf sister. He is adamant about getting his sister and having her come live with him. He knows what it was like to live with his mother, and he just wants better for his sister, and he's able to provide that. The thing is, the sister has been going to the school, and she's bonded with her teacher, who is also deaf. So between the two of them, they both want Riley to come live with them, but they come up with this plan. And aside from the plan that they've come up with, Ryland, the brother, has decided that he wants them all to become a family. So he's been trying to convince her of this. Aside from the fact that you can tell that he really cares about his sister, he is also uh, he also has a growing fondness for this teacher. And there's one thing, well, there are several things, but the one thing that he does that really, really like kind of shows me that this is going somewhere. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but deaf people do not consider themselves as disabled or handicapped. They are people who communicate in a different way than the way that we communicate. And so, one of the things that he does in this book is they're at an event or something, And instead of just deciding, well, she can't hear, so I'm going to interpret for her, he finds out how she wants to handle the situation. He sees her as a whole person, and I love that. That was like, yes, this is the guy. And not only that, she has this dating rule where she does not want to date a hearing man. And so he's got to cut through all of that, show her who he is, make her believe that what he's saying is true. This is a really good book. I loved it. It was so sweet. But K.C. Mills can really pull you in. She has some really interesting characters. And that is the reason why I am forever coming back to K.C. Mills. Next, we have Exit Us by Diamond D. Johnson. Now, with Diamond D. Johnson, I have never read a book by her that did not keep my attention. She writes really good books. Normally, they are a series, but this particular one is a standalone. We have in this book, we have two friends who are Amina and Gianna. So Amina and Gianna are friends. They grow up, they become teenagers. Amina moves to London with her family, her well-to-do family. She's gone for many years. She gets left at the altar. She decides to regroup, come back to Florida, hang out with her friend. She gets there, and her friend is kind of tired of her moping and worried about this dude who left her at the altar. And she's like, wait a minute, I got an idea. You can go with my brother on this 2-month trip on his big rig. And the brother, whose name is Gemini, and Amina, they know each other because this was her friend's, this was his sister's best friend. But they don't know each other like that. So neither one of them is really thinking this is a good idea. But Gianna is like, yeah, this is my friend. I need you to take care of my friend. She's having a hard time. And she's telling her friend, girl, you need to get away. You need to do something. This is a trip. Now, I don't know if I said it before, but let me just say this. Amina is bougie, okay? And I don't think that she kind of really knows what she's getting into on a trip for 2 months in a big rig. Like, there's literally a bed in the big rig. It's not like, baby girl, you're not going to no hotels. That's not the way it works. So you have these two opposites. He loves his big rig. He loves being on the road. He loves being by himself. So now you've got this guy who really likes being alone, who is taking care of his business because this is his own business. And you've got this bougie girl who's lived in London, who's brokenhearted, spending 2 months together in a big rig. This was a really good story. There is some kind of bickering back and forth, and then a friendship actually develops. And really, the story is really, really good, especially when you have two people who wind up falling in love, who weren't actually even looking for love. This was a really good book. I've read several books by Diamond D. Johnson, and they are all very engaging. I don't think I've ever even read a book like this before. Maybe I have, and I just didn't notice it. I think this one, the trope would be opposites attract, and maybe I don't pay that much attention to tropes like that. But this one is so prominent that you can't help but notice that they're opposites. So this was a really good read. I would recommend this to anyone who loves the opposites attract trope, anyone who likes adventure. They go to a lot of different places. They do a lot of different things together, and it's just a really, really good book. I truly enjoyed it. And next, we have one of my new favorites, Audree Pynn. And this one is just like summer. This one is so good. I guess they're all really, really good. And I keep saying it's so good because they are so good. This one is about Camilla and Cairo. So Camilla is a young lady who has recently turned 18. Unfortunately, she's lost her mother, and the grief of losing her mother has kind of really just got her to a point where she's almost immobile. She does not go outside. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't eat. She is really grieving the loss of her mother. Now, unfortunately, she lives with family members who are um, neglecting her for sure, and maybe a little bit of mistreatment as well. And her aunt tells her one day, "You have to leave out of the house. Like, you cannot continue to stay in the house." So at this point, it's been weeks, I believe. She finally decides to get out of the house. Once she gets out of the house, she gets into the situation, um, terrible situation. And this guy named Cairo, who they call C4. Now, C4 is dynamite, right? Anyway, C4 rescues her. And of course, she's grieving. So, and he doesn't know that. But he is trying to befriend her, and she's just kind of like, "I want to go home. That is all I want, is to go home. Leave me alone. I want to go home." She is now doubly traumatized. She's grieving and now traumatized. C4 literally forces his friendship on her. And then once he forces his friendship on her, he begins to help her through her grieving process. And also, he teaches her a few things. What I loved about this book was the transformation. Now, she starts to transform into her real self. Like, I don't know who she was before the grieving, but the transformation that comes along, baby, when I tell you she turns into a boss, she turns into a boss. And it's not for lack of falling down here or there, but she gets up, she keeps going. And even though in the beginning he is like supporting her emotionally and physically, when it gets down to it, she's supporting him emotionally, mentally, and she ups his finances. This is a really good book. I hate to keep saying that, but it really is. It was great. I mean, this is another one of those great books by Audree Pynn. I've read, I don't know, a bunch of books by her at this point, but I can tell you Only for the Summer, Remedy to His Madness, and this book, what's it called? Like Summer, Just Like Summer. These are three of the best books that I have read by Audree Pynn. And like I said, she is quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. So if you are interested in seeing somebody glow up, this would be the book. And last but not least, we have my girl, Natisha Raynor, who could do no wrong. This one is called Back in Blood. So this is about two separate couples, kind of really. So you have Capri, who is this guy who used to be in the street. He's changed. He's got this woman that he's in love with. She's the love of his life. He's changed his life. They have a daughter, and she winds up betraying him and his best friend, who he considers to be his brother. And so that, kind of throws him, but then he winds up with this other blow that really just throws him off kilter. He is no longer that guy anymore. He has taken on this character, and the only thing that he wants is revenge. Now, there is another couple who is Lisa and her fiance. So she is planning a wedding, she is pregnant, and her husband goes out, and she winds up having to go to the doctor on her own. She goes to the doctor, she finds out some bad news when she goes to the doctor, and she needs her man's support. He's not there to support her, unfortunately. And she goes out. This strange guy grabs her off the street and now is trying to make her pay for something that her so called fiance did. And these two people, these two broken people, get together, and Neither one of them know the kind of love that they're going to fall into. This was a great book. I read this one a couple of years back, and but Natisha Raynor is another one of those writers that I always keep coming back to. If I just can't find anything that's going to stick outside of being in a reading slump. You know, you get those days where it's kind of like, what am I going to read? And you're just searching for something to read. These are the authors that I go to, and I'm like, I know that there's something here that I'm going to be able to read, even if it's a reread. I know that these authors definitely have something that I can read. Maybe not Camille V, but the other four authors, they definitely have something I could get into. So now I want to hear from you. Who is the author that can do no wrong in your book? Who is that author you know that you can always go back and find something that's going to get you in that reading mood? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, see you soon.